Hello, welcome to this very quick review about the PMP exam. Some of you have reached out to let me know you are thinking of taking the test and you wonder what the exam entails. Very recently, I also heard from a student from back in 2017, and Michael asked the question. I never carved out time to prepare for the exam back in 2017, but I never stopped thinking about it, and now I'm ready to go for it. So, Michael, thanks for sending in the question. I'm going to clarify some of the questions you asked, such as, what is Agile? It has been added to the exam. Can you explain what it is? Can you explain what materials I need to study this subject matter? I plan to give myself 6 months from now to study and prepare to take the exam by next summer. Well, my advice to you is do not spend 6 months preparing. I know it sounds like a good timeline, but the exam changes quite rapidly. And we are expecting a change to come up soon that will be based on the PMP Guide 7th edition. It hasn't been announced, but at the time I taught your class, we did a training based on the 5th edition, maybe even was it the 4th or the 5th? It was the 5th edition. So the PMP Guide 6th edition is now in effect, and we're expecting it to be changed again to reflect more of the 7th edition. Now, when PMI updates this in their list of books for the exam, pay close attention to it. All right, so jumping in really quickly, as far as the application process is concerned, you need to have a certain amount of hours of project management experience across a certain number of years, as you can see on the screen. So if you have a high school diploma or global equivalent, you need more years of experience than if you had a bachelor's degree. High school diploma, 5 years, within which 7,500 hours were spent leading and directing project tasks across 5 process groups. If you got a bachelor's degree, then they'll be looking for 3 years, within which 4,500 hours were spent leading and directing project tasks. That is pretty much where most people fall into. And we have a third category for a particular type of college. It's called a GAC accredited program. And if you're not from a GAC accredited program, you've probably never heard the term, so don't worry about that. What exactly does the exam consist of these days? 180 multiple choice questions, 230 minutes, only 175 of the questions count. There are 5 pre-test questions. The score is calculated based on the other 175 items. The passing score is currently unknown. Questions are very situational. The PMI also evaluates proficiency levels in each domain. You hear people saying, I got AT. They really just mean I got above target in 3 domains. So it's a very situational exam. It's going to push you to the limit. It's going to test how well you can respond to several real-world agile, hybrid, and predictive scenario questions, how well you can apply your acquired knowledge. You got 3 hours, 50 minutes. That's 230 minutes. Bit of an odd number for an exam, but that's how it is. It's changed since the last time I trained your class in 2017. There are 5 pre-test questions that don't count, like I said, and though tough, majority of our students pass the PMP exam on their first try. In fact, in 2021, all of our students have passed the exam, all of those who attended our training. So my advice to you, Michael, begin to think about coming back for coaching with us. Start off with coaching, go on to pmanonymous.com. pmanonymous.com affords you the ability to jump into classes when you're able to. We can do a one-on-one, do coaching, do mentoring, and just in time, just like that, as opposed to being forced into a classroom for 5 straight days. That may not work for everyone. So go on down to PM Anonymous. Here is the website again. And just sign up for coaching one-on-one, pmanonymous.com. All right, this will give you the ability to learn at your own speed. I know you're talking about 6 months. Trust me, you don't need 6 months. The last person I trained was shocked. She got certified in just over a month, and she'd done coaching with me one-on-one. And there's so many other people who've approached me for coaching one-on-one because they fail the exam and they feel they need that special attention. All right, so that would be my advice, Michael. Go to PM Anonymous and sign up. All right, here's some more of the information. What I showed you about the exam, I showed you that to take the exam, you need to pass the exam based on PMI's criteria, which is undisclosed. But I always tell people, do the exam to the best of your ability. So there are 5 steps in my mind to getting PMP exam success. 1, you got to be eligible, just like I showed you. 2, decide to pursue the certification or not. Seems like you've already decided you're going to take it, and that's good. Step 3, pre-study activities. So sign up to be a member of the PMI. That's on pmi.org, and start your PMP exam application. We guide you through the process when you come on board. Step 4, attend the PMP masterclass that we have, or just go on down to Praizion.com. We've got a number of options. You can study on your own. You could come aboard coaching and mentoring, which I would advise in addition to studying on your own. It's going to help you get to your goal. And finally, pass the exam. Schedule it, take it, move on. These days, a lot of folks take the exam at home. The exam is broken down into people, process, and business. You have 50% of the exam, process, 8% business, and 42% people. Here's the breakdown again. So as you get coached and trained by us, we take you through all of these domains. We make sure you understand what to expect on the exam. So the exam could be broken out into people, process, business, and that's sliced again into 2 halves for each of those domains into Agile and Hybrid and Predictive. With this in mind, it's very important to understand the essence of Agile and to feel comfortable with hybridization. Research conducted through PMI's job task analysis validated that today's project management practitioners work in a variety of environments, of course, including Agile, Hybrid, Predictive. You hardly ever see a company just say, we're nothing but Predictive, we're nothing but Agile. So Hybrid is becoming bigger, and that's why the exam is broken down into these sections, Agile and Hybrid and Predictive. When you take a look at the domains for the exam, people, process, business, each domain has a set of enablers. Each domain has a set of tasks. So taking a look at these domains, you can see the domains, like I said, they're defined as the high-level knowledge area that is essential to the practice of project management. Tasks are the underlying responsibilities of the project manager within each domain area, and then we've got enablers under each task. My recommendation, anyone who's serious for this exam, you got to go to the PMP exam content outline and read what exactly is in there, okay? Here are some of the books that you'll need to study for the exam with us. We've got the Agile Practice Guide, the PMBOK Guide 6th edition, Project Management Essentials, which we give you from Praizion, Scrum Guide, which is available for free at scrumguides.org. And there are a lot of other texts, but we found just the first 4 to be useful and appropriate for the exam. Anything beyond that is overkill where our course is concerned, because our course is extremely robust. So the breakdown of the exam, as I was going through people, process, business, here's an example of the people domain. And if you take a look, you see a number of tasks. There are 35 tasks in all. As far as the exam has a number of question types. You could have drag and drop, like we see on the screen here. You can have hotspots, hotspot questions where you are asked to click. In this instance, click where the cost will increase the most. You can have charts such as this. This is an earned value chart. And what is the state of the project at point C? You should be able to answer things like that. And then you can have straight ahead questions, straight on questions. You're working on an Agile team as a contributor. What are the names, some names for this role? Things like that. You could have longer questions with a lot more meat. So that is how the exam is. And of course, when you're completing your application, just go through the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling and closing configuration. That will help you. You don't need to go through this anymore. Once upon a time, we did all this hours and stuff. You might remember this from the class. You do not have to do that anymore. Just stick to the high level description of the project, and you'll be good to go. All right, so that pretty much is it. Okay. For the exam, you need to understand why Agile. The summary of it is this. This is a Stacy complexity model. And the Stacy complexity model just shows you two types of scenarios. One, where you are very close to agreement in terms of requirements, and two, where you are close to certainty in terms of the technicalities of the project. So, depending on the project you work on, you are either going to be in the simple domain or you're going to be towards the complex domain. Agile is great for uncertainty. So when you begin venturing into complexity, full-blown anarchy, this is where Agile works best. And Agile is really, first and foremost, a mindset. It's an approach to situations. It's an approach to business. It's an approach to life. But you can also use this to take on projects. And there are certain practices of Agile. And these practices are crystallized in various frameworks and methods. So when you come on the training, you'll learn the Agile Manifesto. What does Agile mean in the mindset? And you'll also learn what does Agile mean as far as the practices are concerned. Okay? I hope this gives you some context about what to do next. When you come on the course, we'll go into a lot more detail. You take care. Got any questions? Feel free to send them on down to info@praizion.com. That's info@praizion.com. Thank you very much and all the best. Bye for now.